Hi everyone, welcome back. If you watch part one, then you'll say, oh, she didn't even turn the page. No, I just stopped the camera because it was at 36 minutes and I did not want it to go over and try to string it along, so I figured just stop it and start it again. I'm going to go ahead and continue. Oh, what is this, a praying mantis? Maybe. I don't know. And they threw in a sugar skull for those people that like to color these up. I would color just this image up. So like this is another image that I would make a copy of and maybe cut her out or cut the skull out. And why I say her, because it just looks more feminine. The face looks a lot more feminine, but it could have been a man that they, drew. These leaves are something that you can definitely color. And this is the same page. I think they just kind of took some of the detailing out and moved things down, but this is the same page. Like this is right here, but this one is larger, so they could have blown this page up from that page. I hope that makes sense to you all. Very nice how they kind of made it's seamless going over. You see the little monkey, and this is water. This looks like the shape of a mermaid, but it is not. You see the hippopotamus. And I always think of animals, I give them male and female characters because they made these lashes. Even though it's 3 lashes, they made it look, she looks like a girl. Then you have this fish, a small school of fish right here. This is cute. Oh my goodness. And so is this page. A little snail down here at the bottom. But this page is very cute. It makes me think of like some magical creatures, some beings living here. Because this house, this little bird house, it's probably a garden house or gnomes. But you see how it has all this stuff on here. Very cute. I would definitely cut just that out. And I can see this going on a picture and putting it in the frame. Because all this excess stuff, I really wouldn't care about. Unfortunately, the bird would go. I feel bad about that. But, I can't save all the creatures in the coloring page. A froggy, I would definitely keep this whole entire picture. This looks so good. This actually would look good if you did this on like stitching, cross stitch. Is it cross stitch? I think it's cross stitch. That would look so pretty cross stitch. So I don't know how you would transfer that over, but that's beautiful. Another underwater scene. And I've seen a few pages that I don't really care much about. Like I wouldn't want to keep them. So I think we'll color that up a little bit. This is the same back-to-back, exact same image. It's just mirrored. So when you open it up, this portion is on the opposite side. You see how that is right there. So yes, that's okay. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. It's a bottle. With an elephant. This is probably a bottle that they drew. I've pictured drawn on there, and it probably has some little secrets. So that's very pretty. Birds. Another beautiful image. These two images are very, very pretty. They're not the same, but you have some parrots going around on here in a circular motion, and then you have butterflies. Again, this butterfly, you can definitely make copies of this and cut this one out. Like make 2 or 3 copies, cut one out, color it up, cut it out, and then have one in flight. Even with these flowers, some of the flowers, like this one right here, you can cut it out and put it on top of some of the images to give it some dimension. I would say the one thing that, and when you go into making books, I understand that you have to think about the value of the book, how many pages you're going to put in here, because you don't want to have a 500-page book single-sided. But I think I would have made these pages perforated, and I probably would have did some single-sided pages, because even when you make copies, sometimes it can bleed through. But this paper is pretty thick, like you can't see the back through here, like at the Dollar Tree. Some of the true Dollar Tree books, the Greenbrier brand, they're very cheaply made, so they can make mass production. Here is a beautiful tiger. I know you guys are probably saying, Brandon, that's a lion, but his mane is just, we can call it a lion if you want, but I'm thinking tiger. He may be a lion. You let me know in the comment section what you think. Is it a lion or a tiger? Oh my. So in here it tells you, gives you the cheats for all the things that on part one we talked about with the images in here. Again, you see I told you this was a back-to-back image, exact same thing on there. So, and then this page, as I stated before, it continues from one side to the next, which is really cool. Even these small images that they have right here, you can copy them, and you know, you can put them in like pocket letters, ATC cards, things like that. Very cool. So this is, so see, it says one tiger. Yay! In case you all had already put your comments down, it is a tiger, even though it has this fluffy mane on the side. Tigers still have that as well. And this picture is really pretty. I love this elephant. This elephant makes me think of my mother. And we're going to move on because I've been kind of emotional. Her birthday is coming up really, really soon. And usually I go out to eat, or I go to visit her in Houston, but I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I've been really, like, not well, you know, I've had some medical stuff going on, so we'll see. We'll see what we do to honor her life. So I love this picture, so we won't mess with that one. Now, when I say I love it, meaning I may pull it out and make copies of it and do some things with it. So I'm going to try to find one that I'm not too in love with. And flipping back through it, I like all of them. Oh, why would you do this to me, Johanna? But this one I can live without, okay? And you know, I'm probably sure someone has probably figured out how to get this on electronic, so you can check that out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the barrels up, because this book was designed with using the triangle pencils, right? All right, I did pull out some more colors, just some more greens and yellows, because we are in a jungle. And so I feel like if we were to go to the jungle, it's the magical jungle. Not only is it a jungle, but it's the magical jungle. If we would go to the jungle, we see bold colors, very vibrant, beautiful hues of all of the colors of the rainbow, and then some that we didn't even know existed. Because especially in the magical area, some of this could be all purple or blue or yellow, you know. And you know, Brandy's all about making coloring things that don't really go in how we think they go in. So I'm going to color up this area right here. And I'm not going to color all of this. I think we'll probably do about 15 minutes or so, or maybe 20. I'm not going to talk that much about what I'm doing besides the colors. I want to use this teal color on the outside right here. And I'm only going to use the color pencils that came with the situation, the setup. I'm not going to use anything else. No, anything. Now this color, I really hate the way they make books. They definitely make books for right-handed people. So you see I folded over this bind. And I really don't like folding over books either. And my hand is here, so it's so difficult. Like if I was right-handed, I could just come in and color it up, no problem. But alas, I guess these color pencils weren't made for left-handed people. A girl can dream. All right, so I'm going to try to keep my coloring in the same pattern. I mean up and down. I think I color mostly up and down unless I'm trying to trace or get into something. And when I have smaller details to color in, I tend to make circular motions. But for the most part, I try, once I trace it all out, I don't know why I have to do that, but I just feel like I do. I'm not sure what they say about that in the coloring world. But I enjoy doing it like that. I just feel like I've encased all the things that I want to encase off. So I know what I'm going to be coloring. And then I go to coloring. And now that I have everything encased off, you know, colored off of this one flower, I can just go up and down throughout the entire thing, and then left and right in some spots. But overall, I think that this is really good. And it actually, if you ever colored in a true true coloring book with color pencils, it feels exactly that same way. It gives me a little bit of nostalgia for coloring and coloring books. Very, very much so. So we're going to color up maybe 2 flowers because it's taken me a while to color up just this little bit. I don't think I'll come back and finish this up. Now, if you all would like for me to finish it up with you all, you can always say, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know how you, if you want to do like a color and chat with me. But I'm just coloring this up so you can see how it colors in the book. Of course, you can use whatever color pencil or things that you want to use when you're coloring. Now, sometimes I don't trace out everything. It just depends on how big the image is. Because we have a smaller image, sometimes I'll just color it in and then I forget the direction. And some things you can't go up and down without maneuvering yourself, your body, or the paper itself. But overall, I do like these color pencils. The triangular shape of the color pencils, I can't tell the difference really. I think these are probably much more for younger people. But I love coloring, so it makes me happy. It gives me joy to do so. Just something, in my opinion, about coloring, and they've introduced coloring into nursing homes and places that have people that maybe forgot their Alzheimer's, and they have them color, to keep their hand dexterity working properly, which I think is so great to do. It's a lot of things that we throw away. And I think the elderly, the homeless, people with mental illness are some of the things that as Americans we tend to not focus on. And I'm so glad that, we are realizing that and we're starting to focus on that more. I know a lot of people do volunteer work at the nursing home and things like that. That's really what I want to do, is work at like a community center with elderly and young people. Like, I know I told you guys I want to be a teacher, and I still do want to teach, but I don't want to teach like 2 + 2 is 4. I want to teach, let's get out some color paper and we're going to make a bird. You have no scissors. All you can use is your hand and glue. Use this macaroni, because that's what I grew up doing. Maybe our school was not that rich. It was a little bit maybe on the poor side. But when I was in elementary school, I loved my teacher. Her name was Mrs. Broom. And I dream about her. So, I dream about her sometime. I always dream about going back to the school and seeing her. But, when you think about the reality of that, I am almost 42. And she probably was in her 30s at the time. I doubt if she left the school when I was in like 5th grade. 4th or 5th grade, so I know she's not there anymore. But we don't go back and appreciate our teachers. So she could still be living. I don't know how old she was when she was teaching, but I feel that elementary school teachers, for the most part, are younger than, let's say, high school or middle school teachers. Unless you're just starting out, then you may be a little bit younger. But most elementary school teachers seem to be in their no later than 30s, like their early 20s. Because I think that's when they say, oh, I want to teach youth. I want to teach the young minds. I want to, and that's what I want to do. Because when you have that aha moment, when you see your child and you taught them something and they learn, they're like, oh, you're like, yes, you get it. Good job. But as an adult, when you teach an adult something, they're like, yeah, I knew that already. Like, I don't think they appreciate you dropping some knowledge on them as much as children do. And they repeat it. Like my little one, which I would say that I have grown tired of some of his antics. When he gets in trouble, he tries to say the ABCs. The ABC, that's his favorite song. I think I've told you all that before. And so, I've sung it to him a lot of times when he's sad or upset or crying. That's my soothing song. That's the go-to song for us. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to color this leaf yellow. Well, I'm going to highlight the veins in yellow, I think, yeah. Because maybe the sun hasn't hit them yet, and this is some type of yellow magical tree in the forest that you have to go to and get, I don't know, when you get stung by a bee or something, one of the animals or insects attack you. This is the only plant in the entire forest that you have to come to and pull off a leaf and boil it with some nuts and berries and heal you. But you have a limited amount of time to do that. All right, let's see, what color haven't I used? I haven't used this red. So hopefully we don't get too much of an orangey color. I should have thought that through. Let's see, I don't even like that. This will be this leaf that is healing back from being snagged. Yes, these colors definitely go on very smooth, easy. Now some of the colors I feel do struggle some, like this blue struggled in my opinion. But for the most part, no problem. Very smooth. I really like them. Will I get rid of my 10 colors? No. Well, I can't say no because I might. But I don't think all of the colors match up, so I could definitely I'm going to take out that box and put it in something so I could match them up. I don't know just yet. I know some of you don't like the scraping. I do apologize, and it's probably a little bit higher than normal because they are right next to each other, the camera and the paper. So this one's dark, you see that? And I think I traced this yellow in a different color. Alright, so did you see this parrot right here? I know you saw it, didn't you? Some butterflies and stuff in here as well. I don't know if that's a moth or not. I'm going to color this up and then we'll be done. So my final thoughts for this, and again, I'm not a professional. No one paid me to do this, but I did purchase it. And I think sometimes it's good to do a review of the things that you purchase with your money because you have an unbiased thought, because you're like, I spent my hard-earned money on it. The company didn't reach out to me and I don't have to be nice to them. And I've seen people that's like, yes, they sent it to me, but I'm still going to tell you the truth. And, you're like, woo. And then they go in on the company and let the company know how great the product is or how crappy the product is. But overall, like I said, I like the color pencils. They really go on fairly very smoothly. I'm wondering if the greens and the blues just have a, the makeup for the pigment was different, because this one is very vibrant, very good pigmentation. I do feel that the darker colors, like the purples and the darker pink colors, tend to be a lot more creamy and smooth to go on versus, and this is just in general, versus the greens and blues. But in this case, this one kind of glided on a little bit better. I think I need to use a green. I thought I used a green. I guess not. I was going to do this green right here, but then I changed my mind. So I'll do a green and then we really will be done. So it, it's sliding on very well. I can't say that it has a lot of tooth though. Cannot say it has a lot of tooth. I cannot say that. It's not like, do I feel like it's sitting on the paper? No. Do I feel like I need to give it a little bit more to go on the paper? Just a little bit. But it could be the paper itself. I don't know the quality of the paper. And I only use 110. I don't use any of the other fancier papers that people tend to use. So, take that with a grain of salt. Would I buy it again? Definitely. I think for $8.99 this was a very good deal. Because if you were to go anywhere and try to get if you go to Michael's, for example, they do sell these coloring books there. The adult coloring books. You're not going to get it for $1.99. And if you're ordering online, you're going to still pay shipping and handling. So for $8.99, you get two things. You get 72 markers. Even if you pay 50 cents a marker, this is still a good deal. A color pencil, not a marker. A very, very good deal. And if you have someone that's, this can be their introduction to color pencils. This could be their gateway to color pencils, coloring in books. And if you have someone that's at home who's bored, maybe you are. Maybe your mother-in-law or your mother lives with you and she has started to get sad. Put this in front of her. If she likes the color, she's going to pick it up and she's going to find it. Easy to grip. I do think that it's easy to grip. It doesn't roll. Like if you make it roll, it's going to roll. But if you just sit it there, it's not going to roll versus, that won't roll. But a cylinder-based pen or pencil, it's going to roll off the table. And this is at an angle, so don't think that it's not. But it's going to sit there. It's not going to roll off. So that's very, very good to use when you have projects. Maybe you're working on a little stand and you don't want to have to keep bending over because all the things are falling off your workspace. And you need that. So it's a good deal. If you don't have a Ross next to you, these color pencils do retail for $17.22 on Amazon. I know a lot of you are Amazon Prime fanatics and you have to get it from Amazon Prime only. So there you go. It's $17.22. I think that you probably could find them maybe cheaper if you did some searching, but if you just have to have them, even $17.22 is a pretty good deal for 72 color pencils. This green feels like it's struggling to go on. I'm going to do something really quickly. When I do this with it, it works out great. No problem. Now when I go up and down, no problem. Again, it could be the paper. That I was using. But it's not struggling anymore. So maybe it needed to get the tip different. Maybe that was what it was. It does break off a little bit, so it does shave off. If you see, it has some flakes, but I mean nothing imperative. That's not gonna make or break how you color with it. And see, even this one is going on better now. So it could be the paper. This is again 110 cardstock, Georgia Pacific. But it works great. Alright, so I'm going to try that one more time in a different spot. Right here. Yep, it's definitely not doing it now. But you see right here, this pencil shaving. So you just got to be careful. Not the shaving, but the pencil itself. So I think that if you use this, you definitely want to have them sharpened to a good point where you don't have to worry about your pencil color coming, the actual pencil itself, and not the lead inside. I think that may be the problem because it is on that side. So, you can just rotate it and try again on a different situation, different setup. I don't know why I keep saying situation. Excuse me. having a coughing fit over here. I need to drink some water. So overall, this is pretty good. All right, so overall, I would say this is definitely worth $8.99. If you get it at your local Ross, if you have a Ross where you live, this will be something that I would definitely want to put in my usage rotation. 72 color pencils for $8.99, and you get a book. The book itself, you know, really probably retails for about $10. And then, so, you know, the way I looked at it was like, you know, I'm only spending $5 on each one, which is a great deal. The pages in the coloring book are great, very vivid, nicely drawn images. And then you get these color pencils, and they're triangle based. Now, I did not test out the theory of easy blendable or anything like that, because, you know, I'm not into blending. I can't say I'm not into it. I just don't know how to blend yet that great. But they are easy to grip. I do like that. So if you have unstable hands or shaky hands, then that would be something that you can look into getting, because it does work. Also, the colors go on pretty good. They glide on for the most part. I did have some trouble, probably user error more so than the actual creation. And it says easy to sharpen. Now I'll try to sharpen them offline. And, you know, if you ask me about it later on, I'll let you know. This is, again, just a little color chart that I did. In case you missed part 1, I did a triangle and I did a barrel comparison with my other Staedtler that I usually use whenever I'm doing a color and chat video, the 36 color pencils. I like them. If I had to purchase just one set, I would go with these. Only because, I mean, you get 72. And I don't even know where I got those from. So I probably got it in a D-stash, or maybe the big roommate got them for me. But they probably cost $10 themselves. So then here are the comparisons that I did. Now the colors, the worst thing that I dislike about this is they don't have colors on the color pencils themselves. Like, they don't have color pencils, they don't have real numbers. So, you know, when you're picking a red, you're picking based on, if you do a swatch, you're picking based on your memory of what red looks like. And that's what I did at first. I just picked these colors out. And these colors don't match based on the barrels themselves. So then I went and I did a color swatch. And then I just picked out the colors. So in the 36, you would think that they would all match up to the 72. But I don't think they are. So, you know, it could be a good meshing if you have one set already. You want another one. Again, a very, very good deal. I do recommend them. You can take my opinion with a grain of salt. These are the ladies that I colored, using just 3 of the colors. So I want to say thank you all for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed. Leave any questions or comments that you have about this particular product. I did purchase this with my own money. No one asked me to do a review. I just thought it would be cool to compare it. So until next time, happy crafting.